Metaphor dice, virtual metaphor dice.
Okay, yes, virtual
You've
metaphor.
got the dice, I've got the poet's brain.
No pressure here. Virtual.
Peter's got the metaphor dice. I sent him 2 sets of metaphor dice. Are you giving away one to your listeners?
Yes, we are going to give away one, and I'm going to create a promo code for that.
Okay, you'll talk about
a promotional thing for that.
Show me the dice. Show everybody the dice. Red, white, and blue dice. And when you roll, you pick one, red, white, blue. That is a mnemonic. I did make them that way so that you could put them red, white, and blue.
I can show my board here. So
okay.
Got this. So I'm gonna.
All right, I'm checking it out.
Rolling like that.
Okay.
And then
what are some of your reds?
The red, I have the truth, victory, happiness, and passion.
The truth, victory, happiness, and passion.
So
you know what? I don't want to get too political, but Joe Biden and Kamala Harris just appeared yesterday for the first time. Let's go with victory. What is victory? Now pick a blue.
You want me to pick a blue?
Or tell me what your blues are, and I'll pick them.
Sure.
Tell me what your blues are.
My blues are wonder, sideshow, meadow, and animal.
Is victory a type of wonder? Is it a type of sideshow? Is it a
meadow or animal?
Say it again.
Meadow or animal?
Victory is a wonder. Okay, let's go with victory is an animal. But what kind of animal? Now roll the white ones, or you've rolled the white ones. You've rolled them. Tell me what your adjectives are.
They are reluctant, well-worn, handed down, and burning.
Okay. I'm going to go with victory is a reluctant animal. And
okay,
now,
so we're going to organize.
Through the miracle of editing, with absolutely no preparation off camera, here we go. Get a shot of that. Victory is a reluctant animal.
Got that.
I never thought of victory as a reluctant animal until 2016, when I found myself in Brooklyn at the corner of President and Clinton Street at what turned out to be the worst outdoor election night party ever. Victory is not a reluctant animal. That's what defeat is. Victory is a wonder. No sideshow here. The main event, victory is a meadow you run through with wet summer feet from the sprinkler. Victory is coming. Get ready to run.
Wow.
I don't know what this piece of paper is. I did not write that off camera.
So you combined all, you took all multiple concepts.
I cheated. And you know what?
There's no cheating.
You're totally allowed to do that. You're totally allowed to do that. One of the, when you roll the dice, I'm terribly afraid. You've got the other kit there, the erudition edition.
I do.
As well. The words, although that kit is a little bit smaller, that's our first expansion set. And I swore I thought it was going to be called the erudition edition, but I never told that to the graphic designer. So it still says what? Erudite expansion.
Erudited expansion.
Right. So the words are a little bit bigger. It's a slightly smaller set, but the words are slightly bigger. Go ahead, show the words. Can I read some of those? My family is, your ego is a hard-won junkyard. My family is an obstinate experiment. Social media is a gratuitous tyrant. Not every word in that set is going to send you to the dictionary. It wouldn't be fun if it were. You can put it down, but some of them will.
For what it's worth, my amateur version of that was. Victory is a reluctant animal. Despite its number of trophies, it never stops chasing the prize.
Oh, that's great too. That's great. If you were my student, as you were once, I would be very encouraging.
That's the non-Taylor Molly amateur version.
There's a video of me online now, I think, giving teaching a Zoom poetry class, and I'm talking to an 8th grader, and he reads what he wrote. And I don't know where I came up with this, but I love it. I say, "Oh my God, I'm so excited for what you might write next." It's a way of saying, "Oh, and what you wrote is already almost good enough."
Right.
When you roll, you know, and I just got the mind is a broken paycheck, which is great, right? The mind is a broken paycheck. Who has not tried to cash the broken paycheck of the mind? You don't want a kid to go, "No, it's not." So if a kid does say, "No, it's not," you can say, "Well, then what is it? If it's not if the mind is not a broken paycheck, what is it? Is it a broken something, or is it a different kind of paycheck?" Or now you make up your own metaphor. And what some kids will be tempted to do there is say, the mind is an organ in my head that tells me all the thoughts. Like, no, that's not a metaphor. That's what it actually is. And so that's what I found refreshing about metaphor dice, was to just constantly be giving people the opportunity to say, what is the past? The past is a kind of disguise. And now I'm going to get you, now we'll roll an adjective. The past is a gentle disguise. The past is not a gentle disguise. The past, the past is a gentle disguise that you put on. When I think back to my father who has died, as has yours, when I put on the gentle disguise of the past, maybe imagining things that I wish my father had told me, but I know now are true, is a way of putting on the gentle disguise of the past. That's all of these metaphors make me want to write.
No, it's amazing. And not to sound like an infomercial, but these are high quality dice. I mean, these aren't just like cheap, I mean, these are really, they have a nice feel and texture and weight to them. And it's fun when you throw them. It's like you're playing a game. It's almost like fortune telling. You're kind of just like, okay, what does my fate have for me? And you just roll them, and then you just kind of try to create something out of it. I mean, it's very fun.
Thank you. I could have made the dice cheaper, but they are actually engraved. I don't know whether you can see.
They're very, I mean, super high quality, Taylor.
Well, the game, it's all the dice. So if I was going to cut corners on the dice, early on in the development of the project, I thought that the dice were going to be, that there were only going to be 3, one red, one white, one blue, and they were going to be 20-sided dice, like you might find in Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
And this guy that I said,
like sort of giant dice or something.
Yeah, and imagine us like a 7th grade boy with a dice like that big. Oh, I'm going to hit somebody. And this, I used to meet my business partner, who's also a former student of mine, like you. We would meet with a friend of his who's like an artist, and he was an expert in packaging and user experience. And he said, "Why again are you doing 20-sided dice?" And I said, "Well, because if you just roll 3 6-sided dice, even though there are 216 unique metaphors, you end up getting the same words all the time. So I wanted to have it be 20 times 20 times 20, which is 8,000. And he said, if you want more options, just give people more 6-sided dice, because holding 3 20-sided dice makes you feel like a loser, but holding a handful of 6-sided dice makes you feel a little bit dangerous." And we talked about this, poetry needs to feel a little bit dangerous again. And metaphor
and I think to your point, I mean, I think what worked with Def Poetry Jam was there was some kind of competitive aspect, or with Slam Nation, or all those slam poetry contests, was the competitive aspect. If you did, I know everyone's tired of Zoom, but if you did virtual competitions where people put poetry and then maybe people voted on it, and you had almost like a bracket, like the U.S. Open, different different tiers, and then you have like a quarterfinal, semifinals, final, something like that. I don't know.
You know, you may have just helped me realize that Zoom, instead of being the exigencies of the pandemic, there's a word I could never put on the dice, it's too big. The exigencies of the pandemic may be ironically, what takes it to the next level, because
you could have, you could have two poets who are, this is Thunder Dice. You could have the same platform where two people are doing it on video, but you have a live audience who's then you have programs, right, where a screen goes up and says vote for A or B, and you just do a quick poll. People just can even text the response. I mean, there's lots of platforms that do this. And then, to look at like Jack in the Box games. A lot of people do Jack in the Box games. And it's the same concept.
All right, I'm telling your listeners right now, I'm looking for people to help me with this.
Yeah.
Get me in touch with the right people. I want the right platform. Instant voting.
Yeah, we can do, if you do an instant voting, you do 2 live poets, they do a live dice throwing, they create a poem, and then you vote live.
Damn, you are one of the wisest millennials I have ever met.
A broken clock is right twice a day, Taylor.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all your time. It's fantastic.
My pleasure.